Good day everyone. I welcome you back again to my channel. I am Dr. K. So in this video we'll be identifying oxidants, reductants, oxidized and reduced species. So when you hear the word oxidant, so it's referring to oxidizing agents, and when you hear the word reductant, it's referring to the reducing agent. I think I talked extensively on that in the previous video. So we are talking of oxidized species and reduced species. So in some examinations questions, you might be asked to identify all these ones, that which one has been oxidized, which one has been reduced. So you might be required to do that in some exam. So let me quickly start by saying that any substance that undergoes oxidation, so be it element or compound that undergoes oxidation, so such substance is the reducing agent. Are you getting it? So any substance that undergoes reduction, such substance is the oxidizing agent. Can you take note of what I just said? Any substance that undergoes oxidation is the reducing agent, while anyone that undergoes reduction is the oxidizing agent. So just take note of the definition. So, and also I would like you to know that as I wrote here, a reducing agent is the oxidized species. A reducing agent, also known as reductant, is the oxidized species. So anyone that is oxidized is the reducing agent. Hope you get my analogy. So in a chemical reaction, anyone that a reducing agent is the one that is the oxidized species. So when we go further, you will understand what I'm talking about. So now an oxidizing agent, so also known as oxidant, is the reduced species. So take note, it's very similar to the first definition I gave you. So now let's move forward. So let's start with sodium and the reaction between sodium and chlorine. So you can see now sodium reacts with chlorine. So now to answer questions like this, the first thing that should come to your mind is the definition of oxidation and reduction. Definition of oxidation and reduction. So one of the definition of oxidation says so based on this reaction, it says oxidation is the addition of electronegative elements. Now if you look heavily at sodium is the electropositive element here, chlorine is the electronegative element here. So can you see that the other side there, sodium chlorine was added to sodium for sodium chloride to be formed. So which means sodium has undergone oxidation because its electronegative element was added to it. So are you getting it? So because sodium will undergo oxidation, so it will be our reducing agent. Are you getting it? Reducing agent. As I mentioned in the definition, that any substance that undergoes oxidation is the reducing agent. So this is our reducing agent. So now let's move forward. So of course, reducing agent, when you have reducing agent already, the second one will be oxidizing agent. So that's that. And so now, and so we have been able to identify our reducing agent and our oxidizing agent. Now, where was the oxidized and reduced species? Now, the oxidized species here is, as I said in the definition, that a reducing agent is the oxidized species. I get what I'm saying. So the oxidized species here is our sodium, so which is our reducing agent, while the reduced species here is our chlorine. So can you take note of that? Now let's move to the other one also. So the reaction between hydrogen sulfide and bromine. So can you see now? Look at the reaction. If we go back to oxidation now, look at it. So the first thing that you come to your mind, this is involving hydrogen. Are you getting it? Now from the definition of oxidation and reduction, oxidation is the addition of oxygen and removal of hydrogen. If you look at this reaction, hydrogen sulfide, hydrogen was removed from it for sulfur to be formed here. Are you getting it? So which means this is an oxidation reaction. Oxidation reaction. So now this is an oxidation. Now because this is an oxidation now, and I told you earlier that any substance in which oxidation takes place is our reducing agent. So as a result of that, hydrogen sulfide will be our reducing agent or reductant here. Are you getting it? Will be our reductant. Are you getting it? So now bromine, of course, will be our oxidizing agent. So the same way as I said earlier, the reducing agent is the oxidized species. So this is our oxidized species, while this will be our reduced species. So that's gone. Now let's move back to this. We have a copper ion plus zinc, the reaction between them, and copper plus this. Now this is involving charge. Are you getting it? So because it's the involving charge, so that means you define oxidation and reduction in terms of electron transfer. Are you getting it? As I gave you in the previous video, oxidation is loss of electron, while reduction is gain of electron. Oxidation is loss of electron, reduction is gain of electron. How does this happen? Now look at let's take copper for example here. Now Cu, this is the copper ion, Cu2 plus 2E negative will give us Cu. Are you getting it? What are we saying in essence? Look at it. This one is carrying plus 2. It gains 2 electron. So this 2 electron is minus 2. Plus 2 minus 2 will give us 0. Are you getting it? So that's why it's not carrying any charge here. Are you getting it? So because of that, oxidation is loss of electron, while reduction is gain of electron. So now so this one actually gains electron. It didn't lose the electron. So this is an example of reduction reaction. This reduction, not oxidation. Are you getting it? So because this is a reduction in reaction, anyone that was and as I said earlier, that any reaction that any substance that undergo oxidation is the reducing agent, or anyone that undergoes reduction is the oxidizing agent. So this will be our oxidizing agent, OA, while this will be our reducing agent. So same way it goes, that this is